morning. Namaste. Thank you for joining practice today. As always, practice according to your abilities, respect your limitations, and remember that all beings are experiencing this through you. So in that way, we want to practice in a way that will deliver the best experience possible. If you go to the place of pain and suffering and anxiety, that is what you will transmit. And so, of course, we don't want that. So let's begin. Sit tall and straight. Close the eyes. Bring the attention within. Begin with the sound of Om 3 times to attract divine attention. Imagine becoming one with all beings everywhere. Of creation, God became part of all living beings everywhere. This divine spark is equally present in all forms throughout the endless universe. To that supreme divine consciousness that is within and all around us. Om Namah Shivaya mantra. I bow to the inner light. Shivaya. all beings everywhere be happy and free from suffering and enjoy this practice through our senses. May we always have a strong desire for the knowledge that liberates us from pain and suffering. And may we always have may we acquire the intellect to attain that knowledge. And may we cherish no ill feelings against each other. Only ever peace, love, and compassion. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Let's do the mantra for purification 3 times to purify the space, the ground, and all the psychic channels within. If you don't know it, just channel the Guru through your voice. Imagine the Guru singing through you. You derive all the benefits as though you were chanting it perfectly. If you do know it, to do with volume and conviction so it can be heard by all the subtle bodies within and all around us. Try to do each one in a single breath. Om pavitraha pavitra va sawa vashtanga topi va yaha smarit pandrikaksham sabahya bihantraha stihi. Om pavitraha pavitra va sawa vashtanga topi va yaha smarit pandrikaksham sabahya bihantraha stihi. Om pavitraha pavitra va sawa vashtanga topi va yaha smarit pandrikaksham sabahya bihantraha stihi. Do spiritual breathing in order to have establish a deeper connection with the divine essence within. Bring the arms up, the palms slightly turned up. From the fingertips, inhale down through the arms, right into the spiritual heart. The best of the best comes in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold the attention and the breath at the spiritual heart. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Keep it all within, but exhale out through the fingertips, just a breath. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale again. Bring in the best of the best, the direct path through God, right down through the arms. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Holding it all in the spiritual heart, where God resides. Make it an offering of all that you brought in. Exhale out through the arms. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last time, inhale down through the arms, right into spiritual heart. The best of the best, everything you need. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Holding again in the spiritual heart, the residing place of God. Exhale out through the arms. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bring the arms down now. Let's do a little bit of calming breathing. 8 for the inhale, 6 for the breath retention, and 8 for the exhale. No need to apply the locks on the breath retention since it's too short, since it's very short, but bring the attention to the space between the eyebrows. So you're breathing in through the left, close both nostrils for 6, exhale through the right, inhale back up through the right, close both nostrils, exhale through the left. Left hand in Yana Mudra, second finger and thumb connected, other 3 fingers straight, the Mudra consciousness on the left knee. Right hand, second, third fingers fold down towards the palm. This is Vishnu Mudra. When you turn a palm towards you, however, no longer Vishnu Mudra. Thumb for the right nostril, right ring finger for the left. Okay, so sit up tall and straight. Breathe out completely. This helps to calm the mind. Bring the mind into a place that's more conducive to meditation. Close off the right nostril, inhale down to the left. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Close both nostrils for 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale out for 8, back up. 2, 3, 4. Watch the movement of the breath. 6, 7, 8. Down on the inhale, fill up the lungs again, raise the chest. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Close both nostrils for 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale back up for 8 through the left. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Down through the left. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Close both nostrils for 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Release the thumb back up. 2 on the exhale through the right. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Down to the right again. Keep the back nice and straight. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Close both nostrils for 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Release the fourth finger back out through the left. 3, 4. Keep watching, move the breath. 6, 7, 8. Down left. Exhale right. Make sure you close both nostrils completely before you exhale. Down to the right, inhale. Close left open, close right open left, exhale back up. Down left. Exhale right. Down right through the down to the right. Close both nostrils. I forgot to hold, sorry. Exhale out to the left. Down left, inhale for 8. Close for 6. Both nostrils closed. Exhale to the right, let go of the thumb. Down through the right, inhale. Mentally count to 8. Close both nostrils for 6. Exhale out through the left side for 8. Down left. Continue on your own. Keep canceling mentally to yourself. 8, 6, 8. If your mind starts to wander, be unconcerned, unjudging. Just return your attention to the breath as often as you need. With time and practice, the mind will settle. And although we don't have time to do 12 cycles or do it for a very long time, at least you have a tool to do it on your own, a powerful tool to quiet the mind. Next time you exhale out of your left side, conclude. Wherever that happens to be, don't rush it. Do the full cycle as it's meant to be done. Whenever you're done, the right hand comes back to the knee. Yana Mudra. Sit for a moment in silence. Observe the state of the body, the mind, and the emotions, with no expectations of what you should or should not observe, without any attachment to the result. Pranayama is an important aspect of the practice. It leads us to the higher realms. A saint once said, when the mind and the breath become one-pointed, the mind expands to infinity. And why that is important is when the mind is completely open, it might have more capability to realize, to understand the true nature of the self, which itself is infinite, eternal, immutable, and stainless. So now let's begin the asana practice. And as God is eternal and is everywhere, it says that God is present in all forms, all throughout the universe. So let's celebrate all the beautiful ways and magnificent ways that God is present here with us in all the forms. Let's come to standing. And we will start with some warm-ups to prepare the body for the practice. Hands on the hips, start to circle the head. Take it all the way around if you can. If it feels better for you to do semicircles, that's okay. Let's see if you can get your ears to the shoulders and the chin to the chest. If you're taking your head all the way around, the back of the head to the top of the back. Go in the other direction now. If you're able to, move the body a little bit more quickly to warm up the joints more easily. Now the right arm spins backwards for 4 times, and then go in the opposite direction 4 times. Keep going. One more time, backwards, forward. Now the other arm, left arm. Make as though you're winding up to throw a ball. Go forward now. Backwards. Feel as though you're holding a weight of 5 pounds in the hand. Last time, backwards and forward. Bring both arms over the head, holding the opposite elbows, bend to the left. Go to the right. Bounce about 3 times on each side. Try to get a little bit deeper with each bounce. And then back. And then to the other side. Come back to the center. Little circles over the head. Starting mostly moving the head, neck, and shoulders. But then gradually the circle size increases. You start to feel it in the waist. If you feel apt to do so, you can make the whole trunk circle now. Trace large circles with your elbows in front of the body. And then coming all the way back up. Go in the other direction now. Move again according to your condition and your abilities. Starting now, the circle gets larger and larger. Until, again, you can do the full circle rotation of the trunk. The forearms coming right across the tops of the feet. And then coming all the way back up. Release the arms. Shake out the wrists. Move the fingers very, very rapidly from side to side. Like you have no control over the hands and moving all by themselves. Up and down now like the wings of a hummingbird. The fingertips disappear. They're going so fast. Now the arms by the sides of the body continue to shake. The head flying in all the directions. The arms hitting the body like heavy ropes. And then start to slow it down. Now, tap into your inner child. This is good for releasing tension. So it's called lion's breath. As you bend down, the eyes roll down back into the back of the head, and then the tongue hangs out. Looks like this. Okay, so let's go. And then back up. All right, next one. Arms out to the side. If you'd like, bring your left hand to a wall. Right leg swings back and forth. Try to get your knee to the shoulder, the toes to the back of the head. The leg feels like a pendulum swinging out of control. And then the other leg now. Watch your toes, flex your foot so you don't stub your toes on the ground. And then release. The feet back together, arms by sides of the body. Inhale, lift the arms and the heels up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Come back down gracefully. Try not to allow the heels to hit the ground heavily. 4, 5, 6. Come up again. 2, 3, 4. Charge the legs. Engage the core and the thigh muscles and calf muscles down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Be like the witness, watching the body moving all by itself. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And back down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Try to move in a way that doesn't bring the mind into a state of agitation and restlessness. 4, 5, 6. And back down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Tip the head down in a gesture of humbleness and stay in this humble mindset throughout the practice. Let go of all expectation. Let go of all attachment to the result. Come to the front of the mat. Surya Namaskara. Hands together in a gesture of gratitude for all that we have, all that we are, all that we can do, and all of it we share with all beings. Everything meant to be imparted to all beings. So let's raise your arms up over the head, arch back. Come forward and down, Uttanasana. Hands on the ground, bend your knees if you need to bring your hands down. Right foot back, lower down the knees, drop down to the seat. Come into the high plank. Bring the knees down, the seat goes back behind the heels. Glide forward, brush your nose gravity coming forward. And then take your head up and back, shoulders back. Again, take the seat back 2 more times. Glide between the arms. Roll the shoulders down, the neck stays long so the head can go back even more. And again, take the seat back, come forward. Pull with the arms like you're trying to pull the through towards you to propel the body forward with more power and ease. Adho Mukha Svanasana, lift your seat, allow the head to go down. See if you can get your heels to come down as well. Now the right foot comes forward. If you need to, lower your left knee down and use your right hand to bring the foot forward if the foot doesn't make it all the way forward. Feet together, Uttanasana, chest on the thighs, head down. Come right up to standing, reach up and back. And then back home, hands to the heart. Don't worry about the breath. Move the body in a way that just allows the body to flow with grace and ease. And the breath to remain steady. The left foot back. Into the high plank, knees down, bring the seat back. Come forward gracefully. Roll the shoulders back, chest forward, the head goes back over the seat. Again, take the seat back, come forward. Make like a snake creeping through the grass. And then uncoiling majestically. One more time, take the seat back. Come forward. Embody all the qualities of the serpent. Be regal and wise, fierce and fearless. Adho Mukha Svanasana. 3 times blessed those can imitate the forms on all levels. And then the left foot comes forward to the hands. As you're moving forward also, shoulders over the fingertips so the foot doesn't land with a big heavy thump. Feet together, Uttanasana. Come right up to standing. Reach up and back. And back home we go. Pranayama. Go up and back. Hinge at the hips. Bend down, head comes close to the feet, right foot back, down to the seat right close to the front heel. Into the plank, down to the knees, the seat goes back, come forward. Push the elbows in towards the side of the body, turn the fingers out. Again, 2 more times, take the seat back. Try to copy the form on all levels, physically, mentally, and spiritually. Put yourself in the body of what you're representing, in the mind of what you're representing. 1 more time, come forward. Good. And then into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Soften the line in the back, like the dog who's loyal to its master. And then the right foot comes forward. Feet together, Uttanasana. Chest on a thigh, the chest going, trying to move beyond the knees. belly on your thighs, and come right up to standing. Back home to Pranayama, and again, go back. Go down. Left foot back. Into the plank. The knees down, the seat back. 3 times, come forward. 3 times blessed those can copy the forms on all levels, physically, mentally, and spiritually. Again, glide forward. When you imitate what you're representing, perhaps you have more of an ability to find ease eventually when you put yourself in their consciousness. Into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. The left foot comes forward. Feet together. Soon you will be able to be at ease, and the mind can come into stillness no matter what form you are in. Back to Pranayama. Go back and up again. Or go up and back, I guess. Fold the body down in half. The right foot goes back. Into the plank. All the movements deliberate, graceful. Knees, chest, forehead down. As you come through this time, push into your hands. See if you can get your hips and knees up off the ground. Bend the toes under here and work the spine a little bit. Push the shoulders back. Try to telescope your body, your trunk out of the hips so you don't create a big fold across the lower back or the back of the neck. Back into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Lift the seat, bounce here as well. Try to get your belly towards your thighs, or heart down, as close as possible to the ground. If you're flexible, forehead strikes the ground. The heels trying to come down as well. Now the right foot comes forward to the hands. Feet together, Uttanasana. And right up and back. And then again, reach up. Hinge at the hips, go all the way down. Every movement expresses certain consciousness. Left foot back, tap into it. Into the plank. Down we go, knees, chest, forehead down, the eyes downcast. The head down, a gesture of humbleness. Into upward facing dog, the heart open, the eyes up, a gesture of surrendering to the divine grace. Good, again, you can bend the toes under, move the body a little bit. Back into Adho Mukha Svanasana. See if you can get your chest down between your shoulder blades. Try not to bend the arms. Look like a dog stretching its back. Exhibit the loyalty again of a dog to its master. And then left foot forward. We try to serve all beings through the practice. Don't do it just for yourself. Uttanasana. Come all the way up and back home. Let's add on. Raise your arms up. This time as you go down, bend your knees, your belly on your thighs, push your body into your legs, try to get your seat up, your hands over your shoulders. If it's too much to have your hands together, just keep them apart. Now the right foot goes back. Back knee down, Kapiyasana. Reach up, drop your shoulders down, and try to take your hands behind the head. Arch the back. Come right back into the high plank. You can do the same entry, Ashtanga Namaskara, or if you want, even Chaturanga, lower down in one line from the heels to the top of the head. Hovering just above the ground, about an inch. Push into your hands, right into upward facing dog. Again, do according to your abilities and strength. Back into Adho Mukha Svanasana. The right leg up, send the foot between the hands. Back knee down, drop down to the seat, reach up and back. Drop your shoulders down so the neck stays long. Push the lower back up and in. And then swing your hands behind the back. If you can, instead of touching your fingers to the ground. Join your hands, hold the breath. The left foot can come forward a little bit with a little bit more control. And right up to standing. Reach up and back. Hands back to the heart. Engage your buttocks and your upper back muscles as you go back to support the body a little bit more. Bend your knees, push the belly into your thighs. Try to eventually get your seat over your heels, but without detaching your body from the thighs. Now the left foot goes back. Kapiyasana. Keep your arms straight. Think of a crescent moon. No kinks, no discontinuities in the curve from point to point. And then right back into your high plank. Down we go into upward facing dog. Any transition you like. Chest wide open, shoulders back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Melt the hearts in every sense, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Left leg up. Send the foot between the hands. Ever so quietly, back knee down. Reach up and back. Transition between the forms like a shapeshifter. Silently, gracefully, fluidly, like you see yourself moving in your dreams. Come back up to standing. And back home. Go up and back again. Keep on moving forward in every sense, not only physically, mentally, and spiritually as well. Take your arms over the head, forehead coming towards the shins, maybe right against the shins if your legs are straight. The left foot goes back. Back knee down. Reach up and back. Take the arms all the way up and back. Lift the heart. And then right through into high plank. Good. Knees, chest, forehead down, or any position as well is great. Into upward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Left leg up and send the foot between the hands. Back knee down, drop down to seat, reach up and back, stretch. Swing your hands behind the back, hold the breath, right foot comes in to meet the left. Uttanasana, forehead again towards the shins, come right up to standing. Stretch and come back home. Good. So next variation of sun salutations we're going to do, maybe jumping back. If you don't feel comfortable jumping, just walk back. So we're going to raise your arms, stretch the whole front of the body. Come forward and down. Plant your hands on the side of the feet. Bend your knees if you need to. Hold your breath. Bend your elbows and jump back. Landing just above the ground. Hovering into upward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Jump your feet forward or walk your feet between your hands. Reach up and back. Right into the next one. Hold your breath. Jump back. Try not to land a big jarring motion. Nice and fluidly. Back into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Come forward. Reach up and back. And keep going. Hands down. Good. Trying to build some heat. And the next one, come down. Bend your elbows as you're going back. If you're jumping back into Adho Mukha Svanasana, come forward to the hands. Two more. Stretch the whole front of the body. Come down. Hold the breath. Good. Upward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Feet to the hands. And last one. Go back and then down to Chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Feet to the hands, reach up, back behind the head, and hands back to the heart. Take a couple breaths here. Arms by sides of the body. Come into mountain consciousness. Tall, quiet, steady. From the base of spine, inhale up to the crown, like the summit of the mountain is a crown. Exhale back down to the base of the mountain, the base of the spine. Be solid and unshakable through and through in devotion to the practice again. Inhale up to the crown. Exhale back down. Good. And now let's continue with some balance sequences. All right. So standing on your left foot first. Feel free to stand against the wall, your back against the wall, your left hand on the wall if you need to. Take your right foot by the inside of the heel, thumb behind the heel. Bring the leg out to the side. If you can't straighten your leg, you can hold underneath your knee, or if it's just too much, just do what you can. Again, it's an offering, so just do your best. More flexible, bring your leg up higher. Lean a little bit to your left. Good. Now from here, see if you can let go of the foot, but before you do that, engage your leg muscles, your core, so that when you let go of the foot, you try not to allow it to drop. Hold the breath now. Really engage your leg muscles. And now bring the foot, keep leaning to your left a little bit. If you can, without touching your foot to the ground, right into gliding eagle. Bend your left knee, bring your belly down onto your thigh, the head about the height of the knee. Your foot stays high, higher than the hip if you can. Your arms represent the wings of that magnificent eagle. You have to see the form in your mind and try to realize the best you can with your body. Now, let's see if we can come back up. Dharma Ji likes to do some of these sequences sometimes. If you fall out of it, just come right back up. No judgment, no concern, stay in the same temperament, like the witness. And now let go. Try it on the other side now. Anchor down to the right foot. See yourself playing it out with complete ease. Perhaps the body will obey and realize and just play out what you see in your mind. Exude all the qualities of a dancer. Be magnificent, graceful, and poised. Now get ready to let go of the foot. Hold the breath. Engage leg muscles and the core. Let go of the foot slowly. And now lean to the right a little bit as the leg comes down. Hinge at the hips. Bend your right knee so the belly can rest on your thigh. And then see if you can keep your left foot up high as possible. You can arch your back if you can. Bring your chin forward. Good. Now, getting ready to come back up. So really press into right foot, grip with your toes, the heel, the base of the toes, and come right back up into ballet pose. And then break the pose, come back down. Charge the body, turn the palms forward. Inhale, imagine the best of the best coming in through the body, right through the skin, up the spine to the crown. Exhale, send it everywhere throughout. Send out to all beings as well. Remember, everything meant to be shared. Okay, so let's go on. Go to the back of the mat. Arms up over the head if you can. If it's too much, arms out to the side or even hands on the ground. So again, do according to your level. Left foot forward, bend your left knee. Warrior 3. Raise your right leg up. Try to have it level with the rest of the body like you're lying on a table. If your arms out to the side, it looks like an airplane flying level. Wherever you are is perfect if you're trying your best. Now bring your hands down. Bend your left knee so you can get your belly to stay with your thigh. Your left hand comes to your foot. Index finger pressing on the outside of the heel so you can get your right leg up higher. If you have tight hamstrings, you can bend your knee and push the right knee up as high as you can. So now you bring the right hand right beside the foot, the left foot that is, and then see if you can take all but the index finger off the ground, maybe even eventually your index finger on the inside of the left heel. Gaze just beyond your toes. Now plant your hands down. You can bend your knee if you like, flex your foot, and push your left heel up. Press into the ground. And you can keep on doing this. This works the core. Try and keep your foot close to your hands. Or if you want, take a few hops and see if you can jump up. Dharma likes to do maybe 5 jumps. Go up higher and higher. If you want, you can stay. If you keep your legs bent, it's a little bit easier to find a balance. And bend your toes back. Push through the base of the toes. And then come back down. And from here, roll your way up. Try it on the other side now. Do it this way. You don't have to turn around. I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes. Hands up over the head. Right foot forward. Lean forward. And bring your left leg up. Straighten out the right leg again. Again, do the arms out to the side or arms on the ground, hands on the ground if you need to. Hands on the ground. Bend your right knee again so your belly can stay with your thigh. The right hand to the foot, index finger on the outside of the heel. Try to keep getting your foot higher and higher. Or again, bend your knee if you need to if your hamstrings don't allow for that. And now bring your left hand in close to your foot. See if you can take off all but the index finger.
Your hip right over your heel. Maybe eventually your index finger on the inside of the heel. Gaze again, just beyond your toes. And then bring your hands down on either side of the foot. Heels your palms just a little bit in front of your toes. And again, lift up the heel, the right heel. Bend your left knee again. Come to wall if you need to. So do whatever you need to find what feels comfortable for you. And then just take a few jumps, maybe push into your toes. You have to push down into your hands as you're launching yourself. And use, when your legs are split, a little bit easier to balance, keep your feet close to your body. Eventually you can get your legs straight up. So, a couple more tries. And come back down. So from here, roll your way back up. Charge the body again. Inhale. Imagine lights of every color streaming into the body, up the spine to the crown. Exhale, send it everywhere throughout the body. Radiate your light to all beings everywhere. One more. Come to the back of the mat again. Left foot forward, left hand comes down. Fingertips plant in the ground. So your hand flat, you might might bring a little bit, if you bring your palm up, you might give yourself a little bit more height in order to open up. You try to get your left or your right arm up now. Hips and shoulders eventually in the same line, one on top of the other. If it's too much, you can lower down on your knee, or if you can't open up, you can also bring a block underneath your hand if you have a block. So there's always some way that you can find your way into the pose and then bring your mind into quietness. Now if you can, take hold of the foot. Sometimes it's easier to bring the right knee in towards the body. Bend your left knee as well to anchor the left foot down. Take hold of the leg close to your ankle, just above it, and push the foot all the way up and back. If you have other variations, more advanced, you have good balance, you can look forward. Again, hip is over the heel, left hand to your heart, maybe left hand to the foot. If you want to come all the way to standing, then go ahead with standing bow pose or the left arm forward. Break the pose from wherever you are. Try it on the other foot now. The right foot steps forward, the right hand down, not too close to the foot, about 14 or 16 inches away to allow yourself again a little bit more room to open up. Left leg comes up and then the left arm. Do it slowly, no need to rush. Point the toes, the fingers stay together. Again, think of the way the pose it looks. It should look like as it should be as beautiful as possible. It's an offering after all. And then if you like, if you can, take hold of the foot. So again, bend your right knee, anchor the right foot down, take your left knee in towards your body, and then your foot's close to your seat, so it might be a little bit easier to take hold of the leg. And then push the knee back up and try to bring your foot away from your seat as well. Open up the chest. You feel like a bow pose. Keep pulling your foot back and up. And again here, you can see if you can take your right hand up off the ground. Make sure your hip is over the heel. Hold the breath. The right hand comes to the heart. Or bring your foot close to your seat again. Take hold of the foot, push it out. If you want to stand, press into your right foot and then come up. Hold your breath as you're coming up. Either with the hand, both hands to the foot, or maybe just holding with your left hand. Break the pose. Come back down. Again, take a deep breath in. Bring in the best of the best from everywhere, all around.
up the spine to the crown. Exhale, send it everywhere throughout. Let's continue. Stand in the middle of the mat, facing the long edge of the mat. Separate your feet. You can jump or just step your feet apart. Left foot turns, go to your left. Virabhadrasana. If you're flexible, go a little bit lower in the hips. Work the hips a little bit. Try to get your knee over the toes. And see if you can, if your fingers can swing your hands down. See if your fingers will touch the ground. Not important if it doesn't happen. Just again, with practice, constant practice, angry determination, all is coming. And of course, adherence to ethical rules. That cultivates enthusiasm so you can stay with the practice. Now into Virabhadrasana 1. Turn forward, bring your arms up, look between the hands. As though to say, I'm yours, grant me higher devotion. Just like a warrior is always steadfast in her duty. Lower the knee down, flatten out the toes. Kapiyasana. If it's too much for your shoulders, you can take your hands to your knee and push your body back away from the leg. Lift the lower back first. Lift the body up out of the hips a little bit more before you go back so you don't crunch your lower back. If your hands you can get your hands together, rock your shoulders back, try to move them all the way back. If you have other variations, you can go ahead. You can look to the right, bring the right hand to your foot or slide towards the foot. Eventually, see if you can take your foot up. The knees a little bit to the right, so not right behind your left foot, a little bit towards the edge of the mat so that when you bring the foot up, it's a little bit more in front of your shoulder. Then you squeeze it into your crook of the arm, the fingers close to your ear, lean towards the foot a little bit. Left arm goes up. You can either take the hand in front, turn the wrists away, and then slide your arm to the other side, or just bring your left arm to the left side of the head. And see if you can push your foot away from your shoulder. Think of a swan's neck. There's no sharp angles, no kinks. Smooth lines. Break the pose. This, of course, is if you don't have the shoulder mobility or then do according again to your abilities. Move your left foot out to the left. Rock back and forth. These are just all options. God is in all forms, so whatever form you're in, honor it. Do your best. Push back through the right foot one more time. Lower the knee down. Flatten out the toes. If your hips are low enough, you can drop onto your right forearm and then roll back to your left. Both sides of your hips should be down equally. So if your knee's falling out to the side, you move your foot out a little bit more so your shin can stay vertical. Same with this kind of thing. If your foot's going beyond the line of your knee, try to keep your knee and the heel in the same line. Eventually, if you lengthen more, the body will come closer and closer. When your hips are anchored down, maybe the pelvis, the belly, and the chest will come down. If you're flat on the ground, feel free to stay, or left arm can go over the foot from the outside underneath your leg and join your hands over the back. Fix your gaze, be still like a lizard, merge with the form. Now break the pose, coming back upright. Push your hips back out of Hanumanasana. You can bring the right foot to the left a little bit, lift the toes up on the left foot, and rest your belly on your thigh. You can take hold of the heel or have hands on either side of the foot. Try to melt your belly on your thigh. Imagine try to get your chest below the knee. You can stay here. Make sure that your hip is over your knee, so not too far back. If you want, you can go into Hanumanasana. Bring your right foot again in line with your knee. Start to slide your left heel forward. Make sure your left hip is not going way forward to the other one. So just slide back. So ideally, you can slide your heel on a slippery surface. If you need to move forward so you're sliding on the floor as opposed to your mat, then go ahead. Bounce a little bit. Try not to go too hard or too fast. Be mindful. If you're all the way down, take any expression you know. Lay the hands in front of the heart.
Hands above the head. This represents the leap that Hanuman took to rescue his master's wife, Sita. Anything is possible with faith. Now break the pose. You want to sit in a pose for a bit to give the mind time to settle, otherwise the mind will always be just racing from one thing to the next. So the leg should be like a box now. See if you can lift your left foot up. If it comes up easily, it's in the right place. Right arm up, go to your left. Try to get your armpit on the outside of the knee by pushing in, orienting the knee and the toes to the right, pushing out, keep it anchored in place with your left hand. You try to get your armpit on the outside of the knee, your left hand pushes into your right, and then push downward. Same time, your belly comes high to the thigh. Make sure your wrists are in the same line as your elbows, not like this. If you have your wrists in line with your elbows, you have more push power. And then take the left shoulder back. If you want, keep turning to your left. If your elbow's in the space underneath your leg, you might be able to bend your wrists, bring your fingers towards the inside of the wrist, use your left hand to guide the right arm underneath. And then maybe you can take your bind, join your hands underneath your belly and your thigh. Pull the left shoulder back. Last step, and see if you can take your right knee up off the ground. You can do this without the bind as well. Again, wherever you are, perfect. Just do your best, offer up the pose. Now break the pose, coming all the way back to between your legs. Let's pause here for a moment. Take hold of the ankles, or if you can, step on the fingers with the edges of your feet. Head forward and hinge down again. Try to get your head between your feet. Maybe, if you're more flexible, you can bring your head even further through so the back head is in line with your heels. Push the shoulders up and bring the chest forward. You can separate your feet as much as you need to get your head on the ground. If it's still not possible, don't worry about it. Just visualize yourself doing it. At one point, perhaps the body will obey. Now from here, you can stay here or you can do any kind of inversion, perhaps a headstand, tripod, bring your fingertips in line with your heels. Your arms should be in front where you can see them. Arms are right angles. Elbows over the wrists. If you can, bring your legs all the way up. If you can't get your legs up that way, bring your feet behind your wrist. Just rest. Your toes should be near the wrist and just rest just underneath your knees against your elbows so you can pull your toes away from the ground, even if it's just 1 foot at a time. Eventually, you might be able to bring your feet up. Any expression of headstand or inversion if you like. And then come back down. Press into your hands as your feet are coming close to the ground. Engage your core more so that your feet land softly in the same place. Come all the way up. Easy Chakrasana. Walk your feet in a little bit more, but they should still be beyond hip width. Hands on the seat, bend your knees go past the toes, push into your seat, pull down, lift the chest, allow the head to go back. Easy Chakrasana, and then push in into the seat, push the hips forward, see if you can straighten your legs. If you want, you can slide your hands down one at a time, just underneath your knees. More flexible, go ahead. Keep going down, step on your fingers with your heels. Again, advanced practitioners, or for advanced practitioners. Come back up, bit by bit. Open up your arms again. Separate your feet a little bit more. We're going to the other side. If you need to, you can turn 180 degrees. Go into Virabhadrasana again. Look over the front hand. Make sure your knee's not popping in. Your knee should be around, just over the 2 middle toes. Strong and steady again. Virabhadrasana 1. Look up between the hands. Lower the knee down, flatten out the toes, Kapiyasana. Any version, a variation if you like, modification with the arms, with your hands on the knee or on your back, or the hands go back. Try to get your shoulders down so your head can move back more. Or take the swan if you like, slide your hand towards your left foot. You can even stay here. Try to keep your body, side body free of wrinkles, or keep your seat low so you can take your foot up more easily and you don't lose your balance. Keep your elbow close to your body, your fingers straight up, your forearm straight up, so your fingers close to your ear, and then your hand can find the hand, your right hand can find the left hand more easily. Turn the wrist away, the palm away, and then push your foot away from you. It's good to try new things sometimes, but don't have to force your mind to go into that place. If you're not comfortable to do it, just wait for it. It will come. Break the pose. From here, lizard. Bring the right foot out the edge of the mat. Prepare by rocking back and forth a few times. And push one more time to the back foot, the back heel, lower the knee, flatten out the toes. If your hips are again low enough, fall to your left on your left forearm, roll back to the right. Try to get both sides of your hips equally down. So one way to notice if you're not in the right, if you're not quite in the right shape, your heel will be up maybe and your knee will be way for the foot. Try to bring it back so that the knee is, the shin is vertical. Okay, so all these little hips, the knee should also, and the shoulder should also be close together, right beside one another. And then eventually, when your hips are anchored down, the rest of the body might follow. The hips are very heavy, the rest of the body can come to sync with it. And if you want to flat on the ground, take arms out to the side, or from the outside, bring it underneath the right leg. And then over your back, you join your hands. Another indication that if you can't get the pose as easily, might be because you're too compact, so your knee is way forward, so you have to move back your knee so that you have more room for the arm to go over your foot and underneath the leg, and there's space between your body and your thigh so you can take your bind. Come back up. All these things, just tricks that you learn with practice. Constant practice, you learn to move the body more efficiently and with more ease so you can hold the poses longer. Ardha Hanumanasana, that's the best part where you can try to merge with the form, bring the mind into stillness. You can take hold of the foot. Or eventually into Hanumanasana. Your left foot comes back in line with your knee, and then pulse. Try to bring your shoulders back in line with your hips, so move your hands back alongside your hips. Good, and then if you find the pose, you can settle into any expression that embodies the courage, the faith, and the devotion of Hanuman. All the qualities are within, you just have to turn them on. Break the pose. Start to slide your right foot back. Again, coming into the box shape, bend the toes under and the back foot. Hip, knee, shoulder, head in the same line. See if you can lift the right foot up. Then anchor in place. Left arm up, go to the right. If you found it difficult the last time, you can just stay more upright. Left hand on the outside of the knee, right hand on the seat or on the waist. And just twist like this. If you want to go again further, go all the way to the right. Go as much as possible as you can get to eventually the armpit again on the outside of the knee. This will allow the elbow to go in the space underneath your knee in order to take the bind more easily. The right hand pushed into your left. This, however, is perfect. Keep your hands together, your wrists in line with your elbows. Try to get your belly higher in the thigh and try to get the center of the chest in line with your thumbs. Pull the right shoulder back, turn the face and chest up. If you want, you can take your left knee up off the ground. Here, it might be easier to take the bind. You have more space underneath as long as you can keep your balance. So push through the base of the toes, turn to the right, and then there's not as much obstruction. You have more space for the left arm to go underneath the leg, and then you can take your bind. Push the right shoulder all the way back. And break the pose. So from here, we're going to come back into plank pose. Just give me a second. I'm going to Vasisthasana. So go on your right hand, left hand first. Turn to your right. Just swivel on your feet. Your legs will be crossed. Keep a straight line from the heels all the way to the head. If you're starting to sink into the shoulder and your hips are dropping, lower your left knee down and do it from here. To protect your joints. And then come back to plank, go to the other side. Your shoulders should be a little bit behind the hands, so not past your wrist. That's not so great for the joints. So come up, reach up. And come back. From here, lower the knees down. Sit back. You either can stay on your heels and just reach your hands back as far as you can. Or if you have more flexibility and you don't have any knee issues, separate your feet, sit between your heels, and see if you can come down further. You might be able to come onto your forearms, for instance. Maybe some you can come right onto your back. If you can, go ahead. See and take hold of your opposite elbows over your head. And take a deep breath in here once you arrive. Exhale, just allow the back body to sink into the ground. Again, inhale the best of the best into the body. Exhale, flood your whole body with it. Imagine the rest of it, any heaviness of any sort, just dropping out of the body. Any tension, any negativity, just drop it right out. Now, getting ready to come back. Place your hands, if you're on the ground, place your hands against your, push into heels. Dig into the elbows, lift your shoulders up off the mat, tuck your chin in, and make your way back up. So we'll try another round of Vasisthasana. If you have other variations, go ahead. If you're doing it on your knee, for instance, can you just slide your right toes back, open up a little bit more, or get the right leg up. See if you can take your foot and pull it back. If you're doing a full side plank, see if you can slide your right toes back. Turn on the left foot at the same time as you're sliding your foot back. Move the foot in a little bit closer. Your inside edge of the foot of the left foot should be down. Hips all the way up. And this will give you a little bit more ability to take your foot up. A little bit slippery with the mat. So push your hips all the way up so you can get your right foot up off the ground. Your toes in the same line of your left foot, the same line as the rest of your legs. Again, keep the balance. If you can take hold of the foot, slide your hand up to the foot. Lock your left leg, lock your left arm. Break the pose. Keep your hip high, your left arm extended as you move back to plank. Go to the other side. I like to sometimes to do it from downward facing dog. Your hips are already up. So the right hand moves to your left a little bit. Turn. Slide your left toes back. One fluid movement. Transition again. Seamlessly like you're doing a divine dance of devotion. Your toes again follow the same line as the rest of your leg. Inside edge of the foot is down. So that you have the balance to take your left foot up. If you can get your foot up, take hold of the knee. Bring your knee close to your body so that you can take the knee, or slide your hand up to the inside of the foot or the toes and take hold of the foot. Break the pose, come back. So from here, lower your knees down, child's pose. Breathe in and breathe out, relax. Good, now slide your hands forward, glide all the way through into your cobra, Adho Mukha Svanasana, and jump or walk your feet forward to the front of the mat. Coming into a squat. I better move back a little bit. Okay, so you can stay at the front of the mat. I'm just going to go out of the line of the vision if I go too far. So push against the inside of the thighs and the shins with the arms, your wrists in line with your elbows. Bring your hands down. So try to keep your knees and your shoulders together. Press the arms against the legs and vice versa. Lift your heels, your head higher than the seat to start so that you don't do nosedive down. Squeeze your legs against your arms and vice versa. See if you can pull your toes away from the ground. Hold your breath as you're doing this. Push down into the ground. Those who have Bakasana can go ahead. So your arms are straight for that one. Your knees come into your armpits. Your shins start on the backs of the upper arms, but then eventually you pick your feet up. Crane has long legs, a crow has short legs. Those you want can go bring your head down on the ground now. If you're in crane, you have to bend your elbows a little bit. Keep pressing your arms into your legs and then bring your forehead down. Try to do it gracefully, no big heavy thumps on the ground. You can stay in your teddy bear or bring your legs all the way up. Either your legs straight or split. If you don't want to do it from the crow, do it from the ground or come against the chair. So those of you who are comfortably holding headstand already, just stay there. Okay, so if you want to do it from the ground or against the wall, bring your heels against the wall, your seat on your heels, your elbows move underneath your shoulders. So pretty close to the knees, just a few inches, about 4 inches or so. And then take your hands in front. Don't move your elbows. You should be able to hold your elbows easily. Interlace your fingers. Place your head now in front of your hands so that when you bring your seat up, your back of your head rolls into your hands like a helmet. Bring your one foot on the seat of the chair or on the wall. If you're on the wall, the heel is about the height of the hip. One leg hangs back behind you. You should be able to, you should be close enough so that the knee is still bent when your foot's on the wall. And then pull your toes away from the wall. You shouldn't be reaching for the wall, otherwise you'll just always be wanting to reach for the wall, but the point is to try to get off the wall. So you want to be close enough to the wall so you can pull your toes away easily and put them back on if you need to. Your foot behind you is dangling towards the ground. Keep your knees very bent. Now those of you who are in other forms of headstands, you can try moving your hands around or your legs, whatever you like to do at this point. So another 1 or 2 minutes to play. If you want to try to move your hands, easier to split your legs. Hold your breath, change your hands. Hold your breath again, change your hands. Good. If you're trying to bring your hands behind you, you have to kind of fall back a little bit and catch yourself before you fall into your back. Make sure you have good shoulder flexibility to do this. Okay. Or try it on one arm, or move your legs around. Anything you like to do, but move in a way that is graceful so that you don't bring, again, the mind into a state of activity. If you're taking one arm off, you want to lean into your arm that's on the ground, your forearm on the ground. Press the head against the inside of the wrist. Take off one finger at a time. One hand is in tripod. Take on one finger at a time. Split your legs, always easier. Hold your breath And see when you take your hand up off the ground. Not sure if you can see that from back there. So I'll do it this way. So just see if you can even just work on getting your finger off the ground just for a moment. You have to push back to the back foot a little bit. Eventually you might be able to take your foot. Whoops. So you have to lean back a little bit. 30 more seconds. Good. If you don't ever try anything in 20 years, you'll be in the same place as today. But again, you wait until you are ready to do so. Don't force your mind into the place. You will get there eventually, and you will know. So, calm down into child's pose. When you're done, breathe in, breathe out. On the path to self-realization, we'll have the chance to experience all forms. So whatever we don't accomplish in this life, your next life is there. You just pick up where you left off. So come back up. We're going to go into shoulder stand now. So take your legs out in front. If you need to, move to the front of the mat. Roll a few times if you need to get a little bit of momentum. So you can get your seat up high enough. You can bring your hands to your back. Your feet go behind your head, and then you hold yourself in place with your hands on your back. Especially if your feet don't touch the ground. If your feet do touch the ground, chances are your hips are over your shoulders in the right place. Try to move your shoulders in any case, over your hips over your shoulders. Bring your hands behind your back, join them together if you can, so you can move your arms a little bit closer together behind your body so that from in front you can't see the arms at all. And now, you can either stay in this pose and plow pose, or take your hands onto your back, come up into Shavangasana. Allow, as Dharmaji says, the veins of the legs to rest. Your feet coming up towards the ceiling. Try to push your hips forward. Try to have a straight line from the toes all the way to your chin. If you have a lotus, even better. It helps to bring the mind more into one pointedness. Use your hands if you need to bring your legs into place. Bring your knees a little bit over your head a little bit more. And if you want, you can try to take your hands to your thighs. Push your knees all the way up. Eventually your knees are higher than your hips. Stay. Bring the attention to the center of the forebrow. Nothing to do, nowhere to go but deep within, beyond the body, the mind, and emotions. These are not you. If you're in those, you can come into Pindasana next. Bring your thighs against your body. Wrap your arms around your legs. If you know that variation, your hands join just underneath your seat. Your knees on either side of the head. If you don't have a lotus, come back into plow. Your feet go behind your head again. And you can, if you like, bring your thighs against your body, your knees on either side of the head. And then if your feet are down, the hands behind your back. You can stay here. Those who have other variations, you can explore them now. So if you know the transition into camel, you can do that. You would walk your feet over to one side. Let's say the left first. Bring your left knee right down beside the shoulder. Use your right hand beside your head if you like. Push into the back of the head and come up. So you land on the outside of the mat. And then you can make your way into camel. Push your hips forward. Over your hips, the chest up, the head back. But don't stay there. Come right back. So you're coming back into hare pose. Your left shoulder in front of your left knee. And then again, come back to plow pose. Go to the other side. Now walk your feet over towards your right. Drop your right knee down right beside your shoulder. Your left hand, if you need to, can come beside your left side of the head. And roll your way up. Good. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, then just stay in the pose. This is for those practitioners who are familiar with the practice. You bring your right shoulder in front of your right knee. Bring your right ear to right side head to the ground. Push into your left shoulder, right shoulder, and then come back to plow. Now, let's get ready to come out. Plant your, bring your hands behind your back, palms down, thumb tips touching, index fingers touching. As your seat comes down, your hands can move closer together. Come down slowly, press into your arms to control the descent. Eventually your seat lands on your wrists. You're sitting on your wrists. Lower your legs down until they're halfway and then stop. If you can, push into your lower arms, lift your back up off the ground. And from here, push your chest up, the top of the head comes down. If it's too much, keep your legs up, bring your feet all the way down to the ground, fish pose. Those of you who know flying fish can take your hands out from underneath your seat. You bring your arms in front of your legs in the same line as the legs, your hands together. Breathe very fast to the nose like a sniffing dog. Now bring your feet close to your seat. Those of you who can go into Urdhva Dhanurasana, now it's your chance to do this. So just to quickly instruct, you bring your hands on either side of the head, fingers facing away. Lift your seat, slide your head back a little bit, closer to your feet, turn your hands around the other way. Fingers are now facing towards the heels. And so you can get your head up off the ground. Push into your hands and come up. Otherwise, come into bridge pose. Come back down onto your back. And then move your hands, arms alongside your body. Lift your hips up. Try to get your arms underneath your body. Hide them underneath your body. From above, you can't see them. And try to get your hips up as high as you can so your chest is like a wall. The chin is right with your chest. Your knees, backs your knees in line with your heels. Your shins are vertical. Okay. If you need, you can bring your hands up to your seat even to support. If you're in Urdhva Dhanurasana, you can play around a little bit, lift up your heels, rock back and forth, stretch the body, reach. Advanced practitioners, do whatever you like here if you know any variations. For instance, lift the left leg up. Bring your hands a little bit closer. See if you can get just on the fingertips of your right hand, maybe even eventually just on one finger, index finger. Eventually, you might be able to take your hand right up off the mat. And then what you do on that side, of course, you do on the other side. Raise your right leg up. Push up through the base of the toes and push into the right hand so you can get your left hand just on the fingertips. Take one finger off the thumb until you're just on one finger, index finger. Most of the weight, hardly any weight on that left finger, so eventually you might be able to take your hand up off the mat and maybe on your thigh or leg. All again, just progressions, not important if you don't do them. And then come back down onto your back. Relax. Breathe in. And breathe out. Let go of all fatigue. Imagine you fainted. Now from here, bring the right leg up. Take hold of the ankle. Just a sec. Left foot can come in as well. If you're tighten hamstrings, bring the right knee to the shoulder. Pull on the right leg. Try to get your foot close to your face. Keeping your legs straight. Roll the right hip down. And then if you can extend your left leg. See if you can take your foot even closer, your right foot, while keeping your legs straight. If you're very flexible, you might be able to slide your leg to the right of you and bring your foot right down to the ground beside your head. Infinity pose. Now come back into half happy baby. Bend the right knee again. Your heel in line with the back of the knee. Again, you can bring your left knee in left foot in if you like. And those you're flexible, you might be able to get your right arm in front of your leg. So I'm sitting, but you'd be on the ground. So it looked like this. Okay, your arm is in front of your leg, and you try to push. Eventually, you might be able to get your foot behind your head. So again, you push your leg as far back as possible. Lift your shoulders up off the mat. Tuck your chin in, and see if you can pull your foot to your left, so you can get your head in front of it. If you bring your left leg in right to your shoulder, and wiggle a little bit, you might be able to eventually get there. So push to the back of the arm, into the back of the knee. Get your right knee close to the shoulder. Lift your shoulders up off the mat. Pull your foot to the left. Try to get your shoulders up as high as possible, so eventually you can get your head behind, your foot behind your head. Those who are flexible can take both feet. Go as though you're going to plow. Take hold of your ankles. Pull the ankles back as far as you possibly can. Push against backs the both knees with your shoulder, your back to your upper arms. Cross your feet and see if you can push your feet behind. So you have to lengthen your legs a little bit so that you have more room for the space for the head to come through. Feel free to stay there. If you're in Yoga Nidra, with your both legs crossed behind your head, you can stay there, or you can try the other leg. The right leg now is extended on the ground or coming close to your seat. You take the left ankle. Push your knee into the shoulder to start and see if you can straighten your leg a little bit more. And maybe eventually you can slide your right leg out, all the way out, so the leg is flat on the ground. More flexible. Again, see if you can get your foot to the ground beside your head. So it looks like an upside down split. And other progressions, bend your left leg again. Half happy baby pose. See if you can get your left arm over your back of the leg. And this will again bring you into a little closer to getting your leg behind your head. None of these poses mean anything if you don't offer them up, your efforts. So even if you don't get to the full expression of the pose, just do your best. Not the result that's important, it's the effort. Bring the right knee in towards the body and just wiggle. You have to, again, find your own tricks. Wiggle a little bit. Try to get your shoulders up off the mat as high as possible. Use your right hand to pull the left foot to the right and see if you can get your head in front. Okay. Eventually you can find the ease in the pose. Break the pose. Breathe in. Breathe out. Come up. Cross your ankles. From here, come into table. Lower your forearms down on the ground. This is stretch for the lower back. So here, just raise your right leg up. Really extend. Try not to bend your leg. It's like the tail of a tiger. So be strong and be proud in your demeanor. You can bend the right knee if you like. Take hold of the foot with your left hand and push it out and up again. If you want, you can do it on your hand. Right hand underneath your right shoulder, and then pull the right leg up. If you're flexible, no issues with your shoulder, you can even try to take it with your right hand. So bring your right elbow in towards your body, bring your foot as close as possible, bring your knee up as high as possible, and then you bring your elbow forward. So move your joints in a way that is mindful. No torquing your joints in weird ways beyond your range of motion. Be mindful of your limitations. And then break the pose. Try it on the other side now. Start in the forearms. You can stay here the whole time, remember, into your tiger pose. Push your foot all the way up and back, and bring your chest forward so you get a nice lengthening in the lower back. If you want, you can bend the left leg and take your foot with your right hand, push it up again. Or come onto your hand, get a little bit more height, work your concentration and coordination. And if you have good flexibility, again, you can take your foot, bend the toes under on the other foot that's on the ground. From here, you bring your elbow in towards your hip. Hold the foot, try to get your knee up as high as possible. So then your elbow has to just only come up and then circle to the front. And this will help to come into the pose with a little less strain on your joints. Break the pose. Come onto your seat again. Ardha Matsyendrasana. If you can fold your left leg under. Make sure you're not sitting on your foot though. Your foot's beside your hip, your right foot is on the outside of the left knee. If it's can't catch both sides of your hips down, extend your left leg, move your right foot forward beyond your knee. Right hand behind your back, left arm to the outside of the right thigh. Push your lower back up and in, turn to the right, look over your right shoulder. If you have your leg bent, you can do other variations if you know them. Take hold of the heel, or you can see if you can slip your arm underneath your leg. Bend your wrist again so your fingers come to the inside of the wrist. You might need to lean forward a little to get your arm underneath your your right leg, and join your hands behind your back. Push your lower back up and in. So whatever expression, again, just lengthen the spine on the inhale and make sure you can twist more on the exhale, bit by bit. If you can't breathe, not such a good thing. So if you're in a tight bind and you can't have any passage of breath, then you would probably want to consider to relax the bind or to come out of the bind. Break the pose, go to the other side, now switch your legs around. Other option, of course, extend the right leg. Imagine trying to push the left knee beyond the right edge of the body. You can take hold of the heel and pull on the heel so your right hand takes hold of the heel, and then as you turn, you're pulling on the heel, try to get a little bit deeper into the twist. Start the rotation from the base of the spine, feel it move all the way up the spine. Bind again, your elbows in the space underneath your knee, bend your fingers in towards your wrist, use the left hand to guide the hand underneath your leg, and then join your hands behind the back. Push your back into the arms, lower back, and keep your back straight. Break the pose, come down onto your back for Shavasana. Make your way down softly and lie down. Allow the body to relax. Let go of all tension. Let go of all effort. And make the body completely receptive to receiving everything. Imagine being flooded by great beams of light and energy, bringing in all that you need.
Direct it all to the spiritual heart where God resides. Make everything you bring in an offering. Be extremely grateful for all that you receive. It's coming in from all around us. Remember, God is in all forms. So you have to think of all forms as being, having that same nature as God, ever loving, ever compassionate. And perhaps this will remind us to stay in that mindset, to be grateful towards all beings, even if they dole out hard lessons sometimes through their actions, even if they bring pain and suffering, is all for a purpose, all to help us to become more spiritually correct as we move closer and closer to self-realization. All these are, after all, just opportunities to grow our compassion, to be ever loving, undisturbed, unjudging, no matter what is thrown at us. As we gain more knowledge, we're more able to cope with these situations, these difficulties, these challenges. And to bounce back more quickly. Continue to be like the eternal witness, unbothered, unjudging. Unaffected. It's important to remember that we need to take this practice and continue to exercise the ethical rules beyond the edges of the mat as well. In all our interactions, continue to serve others through good actions, thoughts, and words, loving actions, thoughts, and words, always coming from the heart, always speaking and thinking from the heart. So now let's prepare for that mission. Come back to seated position in a way that allows you to stay in this tranquil mindset. We'll close with Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Instill the peace within, send it to all beings everywhere. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Be receptive to the grace of God. All is within. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining. Have a wonderful day. If you need to do more Shavasana, of course, go ahead to do some more and to allow the benefits to further integrate. I hope to see you soon. Namaste.